Hello everyone, welcome back to Kingsize Commercial Real Estate. So today we have a slightly different topic. In commercial real estate, it's not always about the shiny new buildings, but sometimes it's the neglected and the forgotten properties that hold the hidden potential. But they come with their own sets of challenges, of course. So our today's topic is a bit less glamorous but equally important, that is dilapidations. So in this video, we will break down and we'll see what is dilapidation, why it is important. Also, we'll try to break down why settling it matters. So we'll try to cover everything possible. So without any further delay, let's get started. So now let's first understand the definition and meaning of dilapidation. So now in context of commercial real estate, dilapidation refers to the state of despair or neglect that a property is in, particularly in relation to the terms and conditions specified and agreed in the lease agreement between the landlord and tenant. So now when a commercial lease comes to an end, the tenant is typically responsible for restoring the property to the conditions outlined in the lease agreement. If the property is not returned to the landlord in the stipulated state, the landlord can claim for cost of repair, and that is known as dilapidations. Now, to summarize or to give it on a simpler note, dilapidation represents the cost of reinstating the property to its original conditions as per the lease agreement, considering any wear and tear that occurred during this lease period. This process ensures that a property is quite attractive and maintains its value for the future tenants. Now, there are different types of dilapidations, which we'll see in the next slide. Now let's see different types of dilapidation. First is internal dilapidation. Now internal dilapidation refers to damages or despair inside the property. Now this includes damages to walls, fixtures, fittings, floors. All this includes in internal dilapidation. Second is external dilapidations, which involves external elements of the property, such as doors, windows, exterior walls. Now, any damages or alterations made by the tenant to these exterior elements can, without any proper consent of the landlord, can result into external dilapidation. Now, the third is structural dilapidation, which is the most serious and pricey one. Now, structural dilapidation pertains to damages or alterations that affect the structural integrity of the building. Now, this includes issues with the foundation, load-bearing walls, or major structural components. The structural dilapidations are typically the most serious and costly to repair as they directly impact the stability and safety of the property. The schedule of dilapidation is a formal document prepared by the landlord or their surveyors that outlines repairs, redecoration, or reinstatement work required to bring the property back to the conditions specified in the lease agreement. Now, it is typically prepared near to the end of the lease or just after or shortly after the lease has ended. Now, the purpose of schedule of dilapidation is to record any breaches of covenants, that is the terms in the lease, uh, relating to the condition of the property. Now, there are some key elements in schedule of dilapidation, such as the property inspection, the detailed assessment, documentation review. The surveyors review the lease agreement to understand the specific repair, redecoration, and reinstatement obligations of the tenant. Preparation of schedule. Now, when this is complete, the surveyor compiles a comprehensive report detailing the items that requires a remedial work. Serving the schedule. Now, the schedule of dilapidation is formally served to the tenant. Negotiation and resolution. The tenant has an opportunity to respond to the schedule of dilapidation, wherein they can negotiate regarding the identified repair, the potential cost of it, or even the timeline of completing the work. So, in short, it is important both the landlord and the tenant understand their rights and obligation concerning the schedule of dilapidation. So now let's see the inspection in context of dilapidation. Now this refers to the thorough assessment and evaluation of the property to identify if there are any breaches of the lease covenant related to repairs, maintenance, and reinstatement obligations. Now the inspection is typically conducted by surveyors on behalf of a landlord to determine the extent of dilapidation or despair caused by the tenant during the lease period. Now, during a dilapidation inspection, the surveyors examine various aspects of the property, involves internal examination, the internal areas where the walls, ceilings, and the floors for damages such as cracks or holes, fixtures or fittings are checked to ensure that everything is upon the agreed upon condition. Next is the external areas, roofs, including gutters, downpipes, for damages and leaks. Structural element is checked, load-bearing walls, foundation for signs of damages or instability. The documentation review is done. So, in summary, a dilapidation inspection is a critical step in the process of managing the commercial properties, ensuring the both landlord and tenant fulfill their obligations and maintain the property condition in accordance with the lease terms. Now, negotiating dilapidation is a critical phase where both the landlord and tenant attempt to reach a settlement regarding the work outlined in the schedule of dilapidation. Now, if we see the initial communication, the tenant side, upon receiving the schedule of dilapidation, the tenant reviews the claim, assess the necessary work. The tenant try to communicate concerns and propose alternative solutions or request clarification from the landlord about the specific items or mentioned in the schedule. But if you see the landlord's position, the landlord or their surveyors, they review the tenant's response, they review the proposition. The discussions may involve clarifying points, addressing concerns, or even negotiating the terms for the required work. Based on this, there is an amended schedule of dilapidation. Now, based on the negotiation, either party may propose amendments to the original schedule of dilapidation. This revised document outlines the agreed upon work, the scope, the timeline of completion. And based on this, a financial settlement is carried on. The tenant may agree to pay a specific amount to cover the cost directly, or reimburse the landlord for the actual expenses incurred for carrying out the work, carrying out the required work. And lastly, it is the documentation and record keeping. So both parties maintain detailed records of the negotiated settlement, including correspondence, amended schedule of dilapidation, and any financial transactions. Clear documentation is very vital because it may just to prevent the future disputes and serves as a reference for terms agreed upon during the negotiation. So dilapidation cases have significant financial and legal implications for both landlord and tenants. Now it is crucial for both parties to understand their rights and obligations, just to engage in open communication, if necessary seeking legal advices. Now, if you talk about the implications, there are financial and legal implications of dilapidation cases. So the most important or the major one is the cost of repairs. So if you talk about the financial implications, for tenants, one of the primary financial implication in dilapidation cases is the cost associated with repairing the property just to comply with the terms of the lease. Now this could include anything from minor repairs to major structural renovations, and all of this can come at a significant expense. The next is the loss of security deposit. Now landlords often hold security deposits from tenants just to cover up the cost of dilapidation repairs. So that can be a financial loss as well. Impact on property value. Now dilapidation can significantly impact the value of the property. Other than that, there are legal costs attached to this, which can also impact the financial implications on dilapidation cases. Also, impact on the business operations, which can lead to financial implications. Now, if you talk about the legal implications, breach of lease covenants, lease agreements, or impact of the reputation, court proceedings, all of this comes under legal implications of dilapidation. So finally, we have reached the last part of the video. And in conclusion, I would say dilapidation is a very much integral part or a very crucial part of property management, encompassing legal, financial, and operational responsibilities of both landlord and tenant. Clear communication, open dialogue between landlord and tenant is very much important, or fundamental in resolving any disputes efficiently. Adherence to lease terms, proactive maintenance, regular property inspections and maintenance can mitigate future dilapidation challenges. So my closing thoughts are dilapidations are integral part of commercial real estate management, demanding diligence, communication, and legal awareness. So if you have stayed until the very end, and if you like the video, make sure you hit the thumbs up button and subscribe for more such content. Thank you.